Brett's got a meeting, so I don't think he can make it.
Can't make it.
No. That'll be alright.
Hang on a second.
It's not like a short nap.
I just noticed that too.
Is that back at 25? Yeah.
So we're actually live right now. I don't know that anybody's watching, but just an FYI.
I always heard that it's not mentioned on anywhere, so that's.
Energy Conservatory of the call. We can ask them. Hey.
Yeah, we can. We can ask Scott.
Paul or Frank?
It's Scott.
Scott.
I think. I'll show you the list.
Not Energy Logic, Energy Conservatory.
Oh yeah, Paul.
Paul.
Yeah, we could ask
why
him.
is your blower door cutting out?
Yeah, right.
Show it to him.
Okay, RESNET.
You got it?
Okay. Dude, step right over, dude.
Here, Mark.
You're the man.
I'm the man right now?
You're live.
I'm live. What's up, everybody?
That's a good way to greet.
So I'll let you do that.
Okay, you took care of that one? Okay.
Yeah. One thing that I wanted to tell you is, especially starting out, you're gonna find that you're gonna run into that. You're also gonna run into the fact that whatever you're finding on Google Maps and all that other stuff. So talk about that.
We should be doing it all this way.
It's kind of, and look, also call us. Nikki doesn't know where your stuff is.
I guess you all have been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original. Yeah, I didn't even think about that because y'all probably didn't service it.
Take one. Take one on a live. Oh, we never got any chalk. Who's got some chalk?
We
Maybe we can tape a piece of paper to it. You always think we could do like tape?
Let's do that.
That's loud. Everybody's like, do that.
What did you want
Well,
to
they can't
put on
see
there?
it.
Like,
Spend the time because
That's good.
we get every time we start getting wrong routes. Jason did. I was just on the ward and he was saying, yeah, there's a difference. So like you, if there's a 3 you can get a goal. You count as one picture. And then where that's how it comes. Really? I'm thinking that could be an area that we were doing things different.
Where we're bearing.
You actually read it? Big one.
Good game for your birthday, Mark.
Could I have 2 of these, please? My kids would love it.
I'm sure they're good chase around.
Roll sound. Camera, speed, and.
They do the Wayne's World.
No, we used to. I wonder. I think
Roll sound.
I'm gonna sign you in with your email address.
Sure.
It's Mark at Above and Beyond. Is that right?
Yeah, Above and Beyond Energy.
M. Jabaley or
No, it's Mark.
Okay.
They're Above and Beyond Energy. Sean, did they pull the tape down on you? Nothing like a live camera feed to make you realize, oh, I better see that thing.
Watch what I'm saying.
Never doing this.
Yeah, that's like you said you were in on too. Yeah. I think we're having to put 6 energy certificates.
No, Jason's taking care of all
Certification. Let's put the right one. We're passing all of them.
So I guess, are we live by the way?
Yeah,
I'll stop being so annoying.
No. I think banter is fun. Banter's always a good thing.
You would probably know that. But after we do all the data collection and testing, how long until we can actually generate a whole person?
Well, it was still be done as an RFI, which means like Melissa will be the one for the but you guys will be able to start collecting data as an RFI. Like, I guess once I get the RFI in number,
Then we start getting this. Well, I mean, the common would take for a model is fine. Actually generate
So,
good.
right.
Get ready. Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Depending on how busy she is.
With the laptop, we can do those in the field.
Okay, yeah.
You can, instead of doing that, you 7 people, drop right in.
Yeah, that's thinking about that.
So, Mark, you should get chats like right there.
Nice.
I sent a couple, yeah. So people have to log in with their email address to call.
So is it live right now?
Yeah. It is. I just paused it because we don't need to see it.
Okay.
It will get weird background.
Echo, yeah.
All that stuff. Let's see.
Just maybe yeah, I don't do that. Might have to revisit that. Just so we're all on the same page. I mean, that one channel here kind of kills you.
Yeah, I mean, with Raleigh, there's typically one or two decorative candles that have.
Oh, yeah. 5, 8, and then what other?
5 minutes.
Huh? 5.
There's another family.
I had seen them.
Yeah, there's 3 bulbs there, 5 there, and there's several Oh, yeah. I think we can talk about it now. Incandescence. That's what I had, like 25. So, what else?
Can I get a photo of that?
You didn't count the bulbs?
No, the rest of the lighting.
What's that?
Yeah, we probably need to figure out, like, that's what I'm
Well, I think you should like 67. You should count all the bulbs. You should know which percentage is incandescent, which percentage is CFL.
Right. Yeah, I've just been doing the can count.
And then 59.
Okay.
I don't know. That doesn't sound like.
Melissa said that was one. Sounds like we need to figure out what we should all be doing.
Yeah, you should be counting every bulb in the house, and you should know which percentage of them are CFL versus incandescent.
Yeah.
Lay on the street. Just go ahead and jump right in and start moving. Sometimes I'll watch you as much as you want to. Just stay still there. Are you still doing that?
Yeah.
That's important. Cool. Well, I was gonna say,
I got plenty of battery.
well, I don't know. That's the whole thing. I was gonna say we might as well just plug it in. All right. Is that your?
I don't worry.
That's mine. That's your phone?
I don't
Yeah, I think we should have. Jason. Hey, what was it, Tom? There was like a cord with the with the I remember I gave you like a charger for the hotspot. I remember.
I have one in my car that fits that. I can get it to you. That's extra.
Okay, yeah, maybe that was the one that I made sure to have one in there.
Yeah, for sure, I can give you one. It's compatible with my tablet and my phone. It has the same charging port. I can grab that.
Actually, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Actually, it's got 83%, so it's fine.
All right. 129. How many people? nobody can really talk back to us right now. I need to hop on the call, though. Give me 1 second. We'll be right with you. Yeah.
So when we said that everybody would send their report, kind of to Rob.
Yeah, that's
The only thing I had done is if I shared the second tube, it's gonna go directly into the
oh yeah, that's right.
just like that. And it's gonna go kind of the side. All right. Why do we have to have a
Where is
curse?
that report? I'm sorry. When did you review it then?
Okay.
So this is like your active pressure, and this is your static pressure. You might have to double check and see if you can that. But this is actually picking up the air that blows straight from this tiny tube.
All right, Mark.
Ready to get going.
Ready to get going?
Yeah. Hey, thanks guys for joining us. We're here in Wilmington, North Carolina. We're performing QA with Above and Beyond Energy. Mark Jabaley and his crew that are behind me here in this house near Carolina Beach. And we're glad you joined us today. We've never done this before. We're excited to give it a shot to see what sort of opportunities it might provide us for education and improving connection between the office and the field so we can get better data collected. So I'd like to say welcome, and the intent of this broadcast is to explore what we can do with technology and remote services. So let me give you a little bit of background about what we've done today. We actually met here at the house earlier this morning at 9 a.m. and everyone went through the house individually. All the raters from Above and Beyond went through the house individually, gathered all of the data. I did the same thing. We're going to compare all the data that we collected. We're also going to compare all of the room rate files that are created from these now 7 different ratings on a single house. And hopefully we'll find out some things about the accuracy of not only the field, the data collection from the field, but also the accuracy of the files. Unfortunately, Laurel Elam couldn't be with us today, but she's traveling across the state, and it's a really wide state, this North Carolina. And so now I'll introduce everybody from Above and Beyond. If you guys would not mind coming in closer. Mark Jabaley, Above and Beyond, and go ahead and
Jeremy Spar.
Jeremy Spar.
Matthew Willett.
Yep.
Jason Alfondre. Sean Red. Ward Grigger.
I'm Sean Blake.
Cool. So all these guys came through the house and took the data as required by room rate. We came up, as required by RESNET for field data collection, and we came up with a smattering of answers. And We want to talk about the process with you today and also take any questions that you might have through the chat system. You'll have to register with your email address, but you can hop into the chat and ask us anything you want. Mark is going to keep his eye on the chat and let me know when it's coming in and you guys have some questions. But we do have a short delay. You won't see things exactly as we're doing it, so if we miss your question, we will come back to it a few seconds later when we get back around to catching up with the internet. So 3 of these guys have been through JobWorks as RFIs, so they've had field training through JobWorks, and I'm actually going to use JobWorks here on my iPad. Yeah. Sorry. I want to make sure everybody still hear me okay, hopefully. Let us know in chat if you can't hear, and we'll take a look. So, we'll get started now talking about the parameters of the house. And to do that, I'm going to get out JobWorks, and we're just going to roll through the tasks. And I'm going to take the GoPro, sorry for the wobbliness here. Take this GoPro and I'll strap it on to my chest. It'll be a beard cam for everybody out there. I don't affiliate with that crowd.
Upload. What's your upload connection speed at the house? We don't have the upload connection speed. Somebody asked that question.
Oh, upload connection speed. I don't know the answer to that. Oh, actually, I do know that the upload is 3 megabits per second. The download was like 18. I tested it earlier today, so and it's working out well to get this kind of system going. So I'll show you the setup real quick. I'm wearing the GoPro. This is an audio capture device, a zoom, and then we're using the iPhone to capture the stream from the GoPro, and then I'm sending that all to the computer and broadcasting it. So it's a little complicated, but the technology is getting easier to use. So, any other questions right now?
Nope.
You see there, Mark?
I don't know if I'm able to respond to them either. I tried the live stream thing.
Okay. All right. So, guys, let's talk about data. Come on in. Yeah. Come on in, and I'm going to stand fairly still. You guys just kind of surround me. Come in kind of close. I know everybody's smelly, but... Okay, so we're calling through the tasks here, and I see the first task is measurement. And measuring windows and doors and measuring surface areas. I watched you guys go through the process. And was there anything that you found that you didn't expect on the house? You did the roughing. I guess one of you probably did the roughing. You did the roughing on the house before. So anything that you didn't expect just from a big picture standpoint, from measurement?
Measurement wise, no. Windows and doors seem to be correct. Based off the plans, volume, window height, window openings, everything appears to be in place.
These guys verified all of the window measurements in the field, as well as the measurements of the house itself, the floor area. So we went through measuring windows, doors, and surface areas, looking at the attic, which we'll go up to in a minute and talk about the attic.
It says it's buffering quite a bit.
Okay. Okay. Buffering quite a bit. Okay. Let me tell you guys this as well. Everybody that's listening out in the world, we're recording this, and it will be available to you. It will be available to you after our webcast. Okay. So then let's talk about the foundation of the house. again, everybody did their own rating individually. There was no communication back and forth. What's under slab in this one? First of all, let's say it is a slab foundation.
Yep.
What do you guys have?
It's 100% under slab. You don't have any second story, any room over the garage, any cantilevers, anything popping out.
Yep.
Everything is underneath.
And our value?
The R value? R value on this one was R10 with the rigid slab bed.
16-inch depth. Okay.
Going down, and that's placed inside the foundation wall when they do a raised slab.
Mm-hmm.
They put that in and document that with photos, measure the depth before the slab gets poured, so we know that it's in there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, all that is got the rigid R10 to board.
Gotcha. Did everybody get that across the board? Did you guys all write it down?
Well, and that's one of those things that we're not necessarily going to be able to see at this stage of the game. So we really do have to have that documentation early on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say, if anything, observing your work today, you guys take a large number of photos. It's a good thing you can always refer back to. It's easy for the mind to forget later on. Okay. So foundation's a slab and insulated 16 inches with R10 XPS. Okay. How about the walls? What kind of wall structure do we have today? 2x4. Yeah. Any wrap on the outside?
It should just be like a house wrap.
Yeah. But no insulation that way. Gotcha. Cool. All right. Let's go up to the attic and take a look around, because there are some interesting things to talk about up there. So we're gonna take just a second to move our setup. So hold tight. We'll be right back.
Mark, you want me to put this faster back there?
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe just in case we want to demonstrate it one time. I don't know if we're going to do that or not.
Gary wanted to.
Okay, yeah, we'll just go as a team. Perfect.
Team it up.
Yeah. You grab those things. Thanks, man. All right, let's go to a hot attic in Wilmington in August.
On a humid, rainy day.
Yeah. I just came in close. Oh, that's it. Yeah, we're good. Sweet. Cool.
You want to go first?
Okay.
All right.
I think this will work out good.
A short break.
Yeah, it's hard to do that one. Okay.
Sorry if that wasn't clear.
Let's see. On one side.
Somebody got a tape measure.
Says, trust this computer.
Yeah.
You can keep like pushing that up if you want to.
That's good. That's good.
Grab it when you get there.
Got it.
There we go. Thanks, man.
Sounds like the feedback is a lot of frustration.
Yeah.
Keep timing out. Can't hear you. Get your people louder.
Okay.
Videos timing out.
All these things.
What are the upload speeds?
Yeah.
We got 73 people on this thing.
73? Okay.
I wonder if the rated area is kind of screwing us up a little bit.
Probably is.
Yeah, might be.
Should we try like?
Oh, yeah. One sec. Oh, do we have the hotspot? Yes.
The Wi-Fi hotspot.
Yeah. Okay. One sec. Sorry, dude.
No, it's got 83%.
All right, let's set up here and we'll figure it out. Well, actually, let's go back down. Not streaming for some reason. Hang on 1 second, guys. We'll be right back.
Good cameraman.
Yeah, you're doing just perfect. Okay. So.
And we'll turn off for 7 minutes and get it back on.
You can probably plug it into your network, like a home automation system.
Well, what's it, you can hook up your laptop to it.
All right, 1 sec. We changed some things around. 1 second, guys. There we go.
Y'all seen any of those videos of the exploding water heaters that they just close up the pressure relief valve
Alright.
and like set it?
How's
to, like,
that? I wonder. We're streaming. Can you guys see me? Okay. We had some trouble with our other equipment. See if they answer. Just a sec. Okay. So this stuff can stay here. Alright. And we'll just go into the attic. Yeah.
So you want me to ask if it's any better?
Yeah, ask if it's any better and bring that pretty close. Let me actually put the Wi-Fi in my pocket. Thanks. All right. All right. Okay. Okay. So here we are in the attic, and we found a couple of interesting things up here. Mark, do you want to say a couple of things you found? That were out of place, and I'll move the camera around.
Yeah, so we saw some trampled attic insulation. You can see it's hard to tell sometimes with attic insulation, but it's really pretty shallow. Where somebody really made a mess up here of the insulation. So we want to be sure to get that not only corrected, but this is we'll model it the way it is, but ideally we'll get it corrected and then revise the model.
So yeah, Mark, what do you want to do about that model?
Well, for now, since it's not corrected, we're going to basically, downgrade the insulation. And I took kind of an average and basically downgraded the R value pretty hard and I had to guesstimate some of the square footage on about what that was.
Gotcha. So yeah, probably a different square footage, a different entry for the attic insulation. A lot of places it's level and pretty much the same, but there are places where somebody trampled around a pretty good bit up here. So then, what was the other big thing up here?
Well, we've got a fresh air duct that is coming into the return, and we were hoping to find a mechanical damper in it, but we did not. We did find a filter box, and so we've had a good debate about whether or not, what the RESNET standard protocol, along with what the state requirements are for what to do with that fresh air ventilation damper. So we tested it basically both sealed and unsealed, and for both total leakage and leakage to outside. And then we're just debating what to do about that.
Yeah, and the reason it's a debate. It's not a debate in the RESNET standard. We know that without a damper, it's supposed to be left as is, and we have to count that leakage because it's an energy penalty. But the state code in North Carolina requires that it stay open, as well as the stretch code, the hero code.
They require that it's sealed off.
That it's sealed off, and so the RESNET standard requires that it's open. And so we tested it both ways, and we found a bit of difference. You have that notebook?
I do.
Thanks.
All right, but I lost where you were. So.
Oh, that's fine. No problem. All right, so we've got
A little over
6.
4% leakage, I think, with leakage outside with it open.
Yeah, with it open, it was a little over 4%. With it closed, it was under 4%.
Yep.
It changed from open 71 total duct leakage, 59 on the leakage to the outside. And then sealed, with that inlet sealed, it was 38 and 29. So significant leakage. And potentially this builder would fail the duct leakage test because of the passive air inlet. But North Carolina, being a different code, and that code is local code, is supposed to take precedent. It's kind of hard ethically for us as HERS raters to say, hey, let's leave it closed and submit that as a HERS index. So we'd love to get y'all's thoughts on it. Obviously, the standard is written such that local code must trump the HERS index, but it seems like we can calculate the HERS index, and where local code fits in, we calculate it according to the local ordinances. So, any questions coming in? Any comments? Is it going better?
It does seem better, yes.
Okay, good. Thanks for being patient, guys. And like I said, we're going to have a recording of this. It's our first shot. We'll get better at it, too.
And thanks for the feedback coming in. Keep it coming. If you have anything else.
Yeah, please. Great. So, other than that, the HVAC system here is a heat pump. Anything other besides the fresh air intake that you guys found that was out of the ordinary?
Well, one thing that I like to point out to my guys while we're here is that, when it's written right there, I mean, that's usually a good indicator to capture the kilowatt, the backup heat strips as well. Because, otherwise we can use the defaults, but at least they put on right what size heat strips they're using. But of course, we're capturing the model numbers and looking it up on AHRI about the exact efficiencies and the match
Cool.
for the equipment.
Great. Well, while we're on mechanical, let's get out of this hot attic and go down to the garage and take a look at the water heater. What do you think?
Yeah, well, do you want to look at installation while we're here?
Yeah.
You can measure installation.
Yeah.
I'm also looking for like R values on ductwork.
Yeah, let's do that.
And the tech shield on the roof decking.
Yep. So let's take a look at that, guys. So we've got a radiant barrier being in the south and on the coast, climate zone 2 here, right? 3. It will be, it's 3A, so it's hot, humid. It will be most likely 2 in 2018 with the 2018 code. So there's a reflective barrier. Then we've got found all the insulation here on the ductwork. R8. It's upside down, but there you go. And then insulation.
Percentage of that ductwork where it's at, conditioned or unconditioned.
Yeah.
Attic spaces.
What'd you guys find there?
100%.
Figuring 100% on the first single story, being 100% up in the
Attic.
attic space, exposed attic.
100%'s in the attic. There's nothing in the walls. How many returns in this guy? One in the whole house, which is a little off for what you guys have seen normally, right?
Well, it's a small house.
It's
so.
such a small house, but it
house.
still seems a little.
Yeah, they usually have a mini return at least. Yeah, and the masters.
A mini return in the Masters, typical?
Usually is typical, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Anything else you guys want to talk about up here?
I did notice that they've got an insulation dam that goes the majority of the way over that back step there.
Oh,
But
yeah.
there is a good chance of insulation migration because we are encouraging airflow in this attic. It would have been nice if they carried that cardboard all the way around.
hard to see, guys. I don't think I can show it to you, but there's one missing panel of cardboard back there, so they could get some wind washing over that. That's the porch.
Just a vinyl soffit.
Vinyl
So it'll
soffit.
let air right through it.
Yep.
Some other things we do, we factor in the flat batted ceilings that have been batted.
Mhm.
Separate those from
Like
the blown.
We're standing on a platform.
That's batted.
Right. Yep.
That's
So
batted.
we're on this platform here, and it's batted, and it's slightly lower than the rest of the insulation.
Grading that, usually we see compressions in that area. Generally running into grade 2, sometimes grade 3s under the platforms, just being pushed up. But we also look at the framing factors on the ceilings. Whether it's 2x6, 2x4 bottom chords, 24, 16 on center. Get that factored into the rating, so we know how much to deduct.
Like you said, we get that at rough.
Yeah, we get a lot of that. Yeah, information at rough.
Yep. Okay. Great. I was in a hurry to get out of the attic because we've all been up here before, but
It's cooler up here.
It's awesome. Could be in New Orleans. All right. Anybody who gets seasick easily, watch the stairs coming up.
I guess it's hard for them to understand when people are talking at once.
Okay. Okay.
And have an outline.
Looks like Pam is having trouble seeing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pam. You may want to try reloading your web page. If I fall down the ladder here, you can all witness me breaking a leg or something.
You got spotters down here.
Yeah.
We got you.
Everybody's backed up away from me so that they can't catch me. It's like stage diving in college. Okay, let's head right over here. Yeah.
Water heater?
Yeah, so these guys have a heat pump water heater. A hybrid system. So let's see. There we go. Are you having any trouble finding these in the directory?
No.
Or are you just using the energy guide?
Yeah.
You have to get the EF.
We capture. It's kind of a Melissa question. Melissa looks it up at our office, but
Okay.
she pulls an AHRI off of it for those.
Yep. Pulls the AHRI, and it's they look it up in the office.
It's about a 2.4 minimum. It might even be higher than that energy factor.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. All right. Pretty straightforward there, but higher efficiency. Okay, so what about the walls in here, in the garage?
Common wall.
What's that?
The common wall, I mean?
Yeah, how are you going to enter that? What's different about it?
Just exposure to different, it's
Yeah.
not exposed to ambient conditions, exposed to a buffered space.
Yep.
It's not conditioned, but be a different temperature in here.
We're really only talking about this wall and
Yep.
part of that wall.
Yeah, well,
As we catch that in that SketchUp modeling by building a 3D model and giving the value of whether it's exposed to garage space, if it's a cantilever, a knee wall, so we can separate the exposures properly.
great. All right. Let's go inside and look at the duct blaster and blower door numbers, I think.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Try to run a multi-point or automated.
Oh, thanks, Dave. We might have radon in the house. That's a good observation. I'm amazed at your powers of perception on that one. Okay, so
Well, I was going to say we could just respond to Danny's question, but basically saying
Yeah.
that we're in a low radon risk area, so we don't really see a lot of radon, and we aren't like a lot of other areas of the country that have radon mitigation systems, but we typically don't see very many of those, and we don't So test for it very often. So
See, sandy soils up in the mountains where there's a lot of granite. You see more radon up in Asheville where I live. So okay, there was something else I wanted to talk about. Oh, a lot of wind at the coast. So you guys will pull multi-point tests for blower doors sometimes. What's your threshold?
well, our threshold basically is to stay in compliance with RESNET standards, but we run into a situation where we're a little bit different than a lot of companies. We do have, we've kind of got one of our guys using a laptop in the field that runs multi-point tests, but most of our guys are using tablets, and these tablets are not capable of running TechTite, unfortunately. So to the Energy Conservatory, we would love to have the tablets running multi-point if possible. So we use this app called iTech ResNet. I think it's actually on my phone, but it gives us a way to do multiple baselines and to put all the data in to make sure what our elevation is, temperature, so we have the correction and we get a corrected blower door. But we are doing single point blower doors, and if we ever get over, where we are reduced level of accuracy, then we have to use TechTite.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
but it's really not that often. Usually we can, find the leeward side of the house to set the blower door up and hopefully be under to where we can go under standard accuracy.
Great. Okay, well let's take a look at the blower door setup and talk about that. If there's anything super important that we feel like we need to talk about. Okay, so here's the setup. I'm gonna back up. There we go. Yeah, somebody get in there and run us a nice test.
Go Tommy.
Is the door closed?
Yep.
Is that the fan that has the switch from reverse?
Yeah.
Nice.
So somebody says we're hearing
So,
audio from about
We
5
gotta
minutes.
run our baseline first. We want to make an assumption that we've run our baseline, or should we do it?
Just go and put it in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Multi-point or what's that?
So while he's setting up, getting ready to run, I'll share with you what we've collected so far. All right, so we have 666, 680, 676, 678, and 697. So we go from a low of 666, which is also my daughter's birthday, to a high of 697, and those were all run with different fans and different gauges. They do calibrate every year. They have good calibration documentation, and everything is actually just taped on the back of the manometer. So everything has been properly maintained. Field verified. So, and they did run one multi-point test as well to check the accuracy. But everything is.
Maybe we could do both, kind of see
Yeah.
what we got.
Yeah.
A single point.
Yep.
Good.
Gonna run a multi-point. We'll talk about the difference in a moment. One other thing we did while we're waiting on the results of that. Mark, let's talk about what we were working on with the duct leakage testing equipment. So, people ask about the conditioner. Do you have it? Oh. People ask about the conditioner a lot, and I find that there are a lot of raters out there that aren't quite sure exactly what to do with this, and it's used for depressurization tests, and it's in the manual, but this is a conditioner, and we ran the test to see what would happen if somebody made a mistake and put the conditioner in when we were sealed up, and put the conditioner in when we were pressurizing. And it dropped significantly, about in half, what the readings were. It went from 71 to 38 on total and 59 to 29 on leakage to the outside. So be sure to only use this when you're depressurizing. Don't use it when you're pressurizing. And follow the instructions from the manufacturer. Cool. It's running?
Well, I got a result. You want me to?
Yeah. I can come over that way, or you could just bring it over here if you don't
There's
mind.
been a lot of over here.
Well, I guess this was just a single point.
638.
And then,
I don't think anybody can hear you, Jason.
Okay, so they got 638 on that last test, and he's running a multi-point test right now, so we'll check that out.
Some of the leakage may be attributed to the fact that we have our night caps up.
Yeah.
And
Yep, so
to clarify,
a difference between the first test that we ran and the test we're running right now. All of the blower door tests were run without the vent caps. You can see the vent caps are on in the back behind us. So 638 is what we got with the vent caps on, so that's interesting to know what the leakage in the envelope is without the ductwork as well. Okay. Let's see what's next. Okay, so we have walls, talked about the roof, no rim and band in this house because it's a single story. Doors, very typical. What you guys find is metal with polyurethane insulated doors.
I'm gonna have to
Across the board.
disconnect from the hotspot to pick that up. So.
And
probably good. Or do you,
yeah, I think we're good on. Yeah, we don't need to run that. Yeah. Got the air linkage. We're into.
I was wondering if should we talk about any of the requirements of the JobWorks program, or
Yeah, sure. Let's do that like right at the end
okay.
when we get all the data handled. So we've done total duct leakage outside the envelope. We looked at the mechanicals, HVAC, and hot water. There's no solar. There's no combustion zones. So yeah, that I would say that going through this process with everybody in the same group is going to allow us to take the results and really pick them apart and find out, okay, why do we have some differences, and where should we pinpoint an education plan for any deficiencies that show up. So with that, I'm going to show you guys, I'll tell you guys what they went through as far as training and how the JobWorks app played a role in that. Cool, so here we've got JobWorks, and I'm not going to talk too much about this or try to show you a whole lot, but I did want to talk about the requirements. So for Mark's 3 new guys, it has been 2, one's not there, not with him anymore. So with 3 folks having gone, or 2 really having gone through JobWorks, they went through all the tasks required of field data collection according to the RESNET standard.
Which I'd like to say that the JobWorks app has been great, because to me the whole concept of an RFI is kind of like an apprentice, and to have the ability for someone to kind of get some hands-on experience working under the close supervision of a rater. And so Matthew and Jeremy were able to do the probationaries, and while that was the minimum requirements, that wasn't the only 5 that we put them through. They did a lot with us, but those are our 5 formal write-ups that we did. And then we felt, once we feel really solid about them, and they've gone through all the requirements, but they also took the CAS simulation. We did field CAS, and I feel like there was one other requirement.
We did field CAS, the CAS sim,
oh, it was
5 JobWorks.
The one that was with you, the live.
Yeah, and so the requirements right now, according to the standard, are 5 probationary ratings plus 1 final assessment that happens through a QAD in the field as well. So their guys have been through that. They've completed all the requirements. Maybe still the CAS sim to go.
Nope. Done.
It's all done. Great. So everything's done. They've applied for their RFINs. And again, those are the 3 big requirements for RFIs now. Complete job works, five ratings, complete the final assessment, do CAS field training, which is also incorporated in job works, and then finally do the CAS sim exam.
And another reason that I like this process is because if I'm going to invest a couple $1,000s in a HERS rater training for somebody who's a brand new hire and it doesn't work out, then that seems like a lot of money that you have to put up front before you really know this person. And this allows you to get to know the person really well, have them work through it under close supervision, make sure it's a good fit before you then invest in rater training.
Yeah.
But so it gives us that opportunity to kind of really feel each other out at a lower price to entrance.
Yeah, and so it's nice to get started in the field. When I'm training HERS raters, the first day I teach them data collection sheet, and then we go straight to the field. We got a question: what was the blower door number before and after ducts were sealed? Sort of the average was 675 for unsealed ductwork, and then 638 for sealed ductwork. So it dropped it.
Just so we're clear, though, the duct leakage fan was open, so so there was some connection to it, from the house to the duct system, but the vent caps supplies were all sealed. But there was a hole through our duct blaster.
Yeah. So there's a return hole that's just communicating through the duct blaster. But we wanted to get an idea of what was going on. We had it hooked up. We figured we ought to play around a little bit. Are there other questions? See anything coming in over there, Tommy?
Nothing that hasn't been addressed.
Just complaints? Okay. Yeah. I know it's a little rough, and the GoPro actually gave out. It was streaming to the computer. The GoPro gave out, so I didn't want to try to get it all hooked back up. We went directly to the computer camera. We're going to try this again. Hopefully, there have been some difficulties getting all the software to work together. And a lot of that is just because it's new technology. GoPro isn't exactly talking as well as it could directly to the Mac. It's a hard thing to do. Nobody's really cracked that nut yet. But
so some of the other variables we could talk about were like lighting. I think we noticed we had some differences amongst our raters in terms of, like some people were counting fixtures and other people were counting bulbs, and so we gave us the opportunity to realize that we need to make sure we're all on the same page on this. And
that was a good discovery. And every time I go in the field with a crew, we find something that can be improved, and it's not a matter of where are my deficiencies. It's a matter of how can we all get better. So some folks are counting just the fixtures and weren't counting the bulbs. Got caught today. We fixed it for the next time around. That's what this is all about, is being somewhat transparent so that we can open ourselves up to constructive criticism. What are some of the other variables that we can?
One other variable that we really wanted to know is not only, so we had our own raters hooking up the gear, but we actually hooked up their gear. So all the gear, like every blow order test was done with a different set of gear, and so that we could compare the gear as well, because we wanted to rule that out if there was a discrepancy, to make sure. I mean, while the gauges are calibrated and verified and field checked to be calibrated, we want to make sure that they are in fact giving us similar numbers. And after today, I'm feeling pretty confident about all of our gear. We have 6 sets of gear that we tested and compared, and all of them came in with a pretty close threshold. So I felt pretty good about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good practice. I mean, not having done this exactly this way before with another group, I'm really seeing a lot of benefit to getting everybody out here at once. We followed the RESNET guidelines for field QA. We did these individually, each one of them individually. I don't do a lot of QA personally. Organic Think doesn't do a lot of QA. We're not planning on becoming a QA agent for RESNET. We're more interested in the technology and what that can bring to you guys. as far as I've just really enjoyed some of the remote opportunities that I've had for education with people around the country sitting in one office. Being able to talk to folks and see exactly what they're seeing, and it pretty much feels like you're as close to the field as you can get, and you can really dive in and troubleshoot. What else?
Well, we do have a rough inspection we could go look at if
Yeah.
we want to. It's about 4 doors down, or we could stay here and talk some more.
Yeah, we could walk down to the rough-in inspection and talk about it for about 10 minutes, and then we'll be wrapped up. We did get a question from Daryl. Is that duct soffit connected to the attic, or was ceiling drywall installed first? It's not actually a soffit. Let me show you. It's just part of the ceiling. It's a hallway ceiling there. Oh, you're talking about this.
Yeah, so these trays are framed into the the trusses, and so there's probably two 2x4 nailers running. They typically will stick insulation, we hope, in between those, but also they'll blow in and they'll bury it, and it'll all be blown in and buried and full of insulation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that pump. I'm pretty sure this is about
Yeah.
the pump spot right next to the air.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, we saw it in the attic, so it is all covered.
But these are not drop trays or anything. These are just like built into the truss design.
Yeah.
It's one area where you run into some problems though with those soffits being dropped like that and missing air barriers behind them, or insulation misalignments.
Yeah, we go to the rough inspection. We'll see some misalignment and some conditioned floor systems to attic areas, and it's definitely, it can be a challenge. The plumber's just got to get something drained out, and he needs his ceiling dropped, and he drops the ceiling, but now he connects the attic to the conditioned floor, and so we've got that problem in this house, and we're trying to work with the builder to get it corrected, before sheetrock. So that's always the challenge.
Cool. Well, let's go see some
Sure.
egregious errors. We're going to walk down the street. Okay. You take a walk with us in Wilmington.
I think it'll be fine.
Okay. Let's roll.
We're going to try to
I'll just.
not film the builder.
Yeah. We're just going to pause for a second. I'll show my screen so we won't show off the builder.
You show everyone our sweet company rods.
Oh, yeah. Let's show that.
Not only are we efficient in the houses, we're efficient on the road.
Yeah. It's a lot of Priuses.
Plus one Honda Fit.
And a Fit. The official Organic Think Prius.
Isn't that funny?
I walked up to him thinking that they were trying to argue.
It was funny when I was first pulling in here. He was actually behind me. We were both trying to find the spot.
Yeah, I followed you in.
Yeah, he followed me in. He's like, "Oh, that's above and beyond energy."
It's a great little neighborhood. I mean,
Yeah, I like it.
we've had a lot of really good stores out here. I think that one was a 59 that we modeled at that.
One of these houses, was it the rough that we did that has the sticker in the window that says this house is supposed to score this one?
It's the house we just, the final right there had it. 59, yeah.
It's the next one, right?
Yeah. They were quick.
All right.
Drywall and paint. Must be some new
We left at lunch and came back and the house was drywalled. No, not really.
We usually start near the garage.
Great. Let's do it.
The Marianas.
Yeah.
This one's right at the garage.
Why don't you guys just point out some bypasses that you found, and I'll be
let's go over here.
cameraman.
Let's do it.
Let's see. Here's the one. You can see they cut that hole in the top plate there. Oh, can you get a little closer and go up, and so they can see that hole right there? That plumbing, they moved the plumbing and they didn't fill their hole. So that's going to connect that wall system to the attic.
So what are you gonna do?
We're
Tell
just
the
gonna
builder.
make them to fill it up with foam. And yep. So we've already given him a to-do list, a honey-do list for this house.
A honeydew.
But other things like this, he's got blocking under his knee walls. Can you see?
All right, let me orient you guys. I'm gonna back up. There we go.
Okay, so this is a knee wall, this conditioned room up there. The blocking under the knee wall has large gaps. It's really separating attic from conditioned area. So we want those foamed in.
Yep.
To fill it.
If you carry it this way, you can see that there's even missing blocking near this can light over here.
Yeah,
Okay.
Totally wide open there.
As you carry it over, and then you can see where the duct is.
You can see where the block was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They knocked
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah, thankfully the electrician took out the dead wood for our
His
blocking here,
Can light.
for a can
One
light.
wire. But the fireplace looks good. Let's show them something they did right.
Okay.
They did a pretty good job with the fireplace here. They sealed the cap and they sealed the back wall with insulation, and then they sealed all the seams with foam. So that was good.
There's
hit the bottom.
drywall in place, but
They could hit the bottom plate. Yeah,
there you go. There's the
That's-
fireplace.
Come over here, Rob.
Okay.
Can you go through the walls here?
Think so.
So here, you can see. Can you guys see this plumbing up there? They dropped this ceiling to drain the plumbing upstairs, but when they did that, they connected this attic right to that conditioned floor, and so there's a lot of areas that are just connected to conditioned floor. So there's a pretty significant thermal bypass issue here with this house, and we need to get it fixed. Also, another fun one is if you can turn around, you see those baffles stapled to the wrong side of the top plates. So those
Yeah.
baffles are going to prevent any insulation from sitting on top of the top plates. And they did that only where they stacked the deadwood up. And I don't know why they did that, stack that deadwood, but because they didn't do it that way everywhere. It was just when they didn't have enough room, I think, to get the baffles behind it. But the installer kind of went with what was easy and wasn't really thinking about it from the perspective of, getting, the house, the insulation, what's best for the house.
Yeah, who needs insulation on the top of the house, right? It's not important whatsoever. Yeah, top of the wall is top of the house, and these will have to come out. So that's on the honeydew list, huh?
That's right.
Okay, cool. How'd he do on sealing windows and stuff? Everything? Well,
Good,
or
man.
did you guys do?
Yep, they got R15 insulation, so if you can see the little stamp. It's a average bat install. It's not awful, but it's not great. There's really not a whole lot of notching. Are they filling?
Let's check this corner.
So yeah, so they did frame it with where you can get insulation in the corner, and they did, which they don't always do this, but they did here. They actually took the time to cut a piece of insulation and stick it back in there before they cut this piece. So it is actually an insulated corner. A lot of times we'll see a hollow corner that was framed for insulation, but they never put the insulation in the corner. So it's one of the things we look for.
Cool.
And we're looking for U values, wind solar heat gain coefficients. Recording that at this stage.
Cool.
We're also looking for the size of the framing members for the ceiling and the spacing so that we can get that right in rim rate.
Cool. What's going on under the bottom plates on the slab?
So all they've done here is sill seal. Usually this builder does an air sealing package and will actually do and foam that as well, or
Mm-hmm.
caulk that. But on this house, it got missed. And
Okay.
They did not do any additional air sealing.
Huh.
Other than what
So,
the trades did.
do you have any experience with what that, if they miss something across the board, how does that impact their leakage after the fact?
Well, it definitely shows up in the blower door test, but it brings up a good point, because what happens in rim rate's really assuming that the envelope is being done right, and it's assuming that the air barriers are all in place per the IECC. But in this house, it would show up in the blower door all these points that were
Sure.
But I think it's more than that. I don't know if the blower door will penalize the house
Yeah.
like the reality would be for the occupants, because there's going to be pretty significant thermal bypass issues that if they aren't corrected, the homeowners will be stuck with them.
Yeah, there'll be other comfort issues for sure because of the problems with the. Well, hopefully you'll catch them before there are big problems at the end. But are you seeing like maybe if they forget to do advanced air sealing, maybe 20%?
I don't think
any idea.
Well, this builder is trying to meet 4 air changes per hour.
Okay.
And I'm pretty confident that this house in the as-is condition is not going to meet that.
Yeah, that'd be my concern. That
they're going to come in somewhere north of 5.
issues.
I think they'll be 5.5.
Not far, but still not there.
But
okay.
But they need to do more if they're going to meet 4 air changes.
Yeah, cool. All right. What else? Anything else in here that you would hit, or do we have any questions?
Yeah. So okay, we have. What was the consensus on the grade? What did you guys give this grade installation?
2. 1.
Sean gave it a 1. Sean, we have 1. What did you like about it?
It's pretty consistent. I'd say at least 90% of it will be touching the drywall. There's not those shoved in spots. I mean, if you look real hard, you'll find a spot that's not great, but all in all, I think all of it will touch the drywall.
Did they split the bats and stuff? Kind of hard to tell right there, but
sure.
Yeah, I gave it a 2 myself as well, but it's
okay.
I think we had kind of a cross, but most people felt like it was a 2 to answer the question. But I agree with Sean. It's not far off.
It's not a terrible 2. It's not like a.
Yeah.
It's not on the cusp between a low 2 and a 3, for sure. But closer to 1. And so at this point, would you encourage the builder to try to get a 1, if he got a 2 out of it?
Well, to consistently get a 1, we really, a lot of times we'll just try to convince them to use a blown-in product if we want a reliable 1. Because we see the installers, they'll send out a crew that does a really good job, and we might give them a 1 on one particular bad job, but most of the time it's going to be a 2, and, because they're not consistently doing things.
Right.
Notching boxes, insulation behind boxes, splitting bats around all wires. And
let's take a look at a box here.
So, see, there's no insulation. They did notch, so that's good, but they didn't really get anything behind the box.
Nothing behind it?
There's only about an inch of space back there, but they didn't do it. This looks kind of, it's not great. I mean,
what I've found being around the country and seeing different raters in different situations, a lot of it depends on what the code officials will check or not. And I know in Dallas, I've seen plenty of houses under construction. Pretty consistently, they're going to have insulation behind the boxes, and I think it depends on the builder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. I'm going to answer Daryl's question. He had a question about the standards being online, and do our raters and RFIs find it useful in the field? And I don't know that we use the standards in the field as much. A lot of times when a question comes up, that's usually when we reference the standards, or if we have a question about how to do something. We have typically a company meeting every month where we kind of will analyze what our weak points are, and usually we look up the standards and make sure we're in alignment. But the fresh air question comes up a lot. We also have some unique questions, like we have crawl spaces that are supposed to be conditioned, but there's no access from the house, and so there's no way to do a true duct leakage to the outside test in that scenario when it's a package unit outside. So we kind of scratch our heads over the standards quite a bit. But do any of you guys actually pull the standards up in the field?
I'll use the North Carolina Energy Code if I have a builder who has a question. I need something to reference usually.
I've definitely been party to several phone calls you know, when there's a big question on, okay, what do we do here? We're having an entire organization-wide question. You know, those are good phone calls to put out in the world. And you know, one of our hopes with these sorts of events is that we can actually get some of those questions answered. I'd like to do this kind of event again in the next month or two. It'll be nice when it cools off to get into some houses. But if anybody's interested in doing something like this, give me a call or shoot me an email, and I'd love to do it more often. I think our education has been thought of very traditionally for a long period of time, and I think the closer we get to the practitioners and the people doing the work with the education, the better off we'll be all the way around. Do we have any more questions coming in? Okay. Well, we're done. We're at 2:30, so I'd say let's it's not Friday, it's Monday, right? So it's not really, well, it's always beer 30, right? But that's just me. But thank you guys so much for putting up with our technical issues and joining us here in Wilmington for this trial run. Watch out for the next couple of in the next couple of months. We're going to try out another one of these. Hopefully the GoPro will cooperate more. But these guys did a great job today on field QA, and I feel like we got a lot accomplished, a lot of questions answered, and probably came up with more. But thank you everybody for joining, and thanks to all these guys, if I can get them in the picture, for being part of our first field QA. So I will post this video online so you can watch it. You can send it to other people, and yeah, thanks for trying out the future with us. Yeah, see y'all. Okay. Goodbye.